Do you ever find that you have done everything you can do to your resume in terms of editing, but it still is too long? With resume, resume length is pretty important. When it comes to people that have worked for 5 years or less, I really work hard to get my resumes to 1 page. For those with more experience, I do what I can to get everything to fit within 2 pages. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks using Microsoft Word to get your document to the right size without doing any additional word editing. So this is a resume that I did not write. I changed the name to protect the privacy, but as you can see, it is 1.5 pages long, and this person is graduating this year, which means 1.5 pages is just way, way too long. So first thing I'm going to do is select a font that takes up a little bit less space. So this is a 12-point font, 12-point size, and it's Times Roman, which is a pretty big font. Moreover, Times Roman is a serif font, or font with a little tail on the end. That kind of font works great when things are printed out, but it does not look as great, and it's a lot harder to read on screens, especially mobile. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a pretty standard sans serif font, which is called Calibri. And you can see how I did that. I was in the home page, I went to font, and then for the size, I'm going to go with 11 points because that's not too small to be read in print, and it's super easy to read when someone opens it up on a screen of any size. So that made this a teeny bit shorter, but not nearly enough. And oops, I made the headline too big, too small, which we don't want to do. Okay, so next I'm going to widen the margins. This document is very old school as it's written now. It's 1 page all the way around. You can actually go as wide as 1/2 inch all the way around, in my view, and still get enough white space to make it easy on the eye. So I'm going to bold everything, go to Layout, Margins, and select Narrow. Okay, that cut off a couple of lines. We're getting closer to the 2-page mark. So this next trick involves shortening the amount of space, or closing in on the amount of space in between each and every line. This resume is written in single space, but I want to go a little bit smaller. You do that by bolding all the text, going to your Home tab, and in the paragraph section, choose line and paragraph spacing. Scroll down to line spacing options, and I'm going to choose single, and then I'm going to choose 0.85, which is, just a little bit smaller than 1 point in between each and every line of text. So let's see what that does. Let's do that again. 0.85. Okay, almost there. See how that made it to just 1 line over into the 2nd page? And as you can see, it's still pretty legible. So the last trick I'm going to show you is how to get rid of these orphan bullets or sentences. An orphan is just when just one little word is off all by itself on the line, and it just takes up extra space that's not necessary. So what I'm going to do is take all of the text in the experience section, because that's where all the orphans are. And I am going to right-click, select font, and under spacing, you have a couple of options. You can do expanded, normal, which is what this is, or condensed. Expanded is obviously when you take the text and you stretch it across the page. Condensed is when you do the reverse. So let's do condensed. And now rather than 1 point in between each letter, I'm going to go with 0.3. So I'm closing down the space by a good bit. But as you can see, the orphans are gone. The words and the letters aren't so close together that you can't read it. But presto, we are down to a 1-page document.